noodles is to take them and put them under ice. Get them ice cold, get them cold as quick as you can. Quicker you can, the more you shock them. When you shock them, they'll stay fine. They won't turn into gush. So my angel hair is just fine. I'd like to show you this. See? Angel hair is good. Now luckily, because I knew to shock them. It's shocking. It's quite shocking. Very shocking. Like I said, it's just ice water. If you don't have ice water handy, just take a cube of ice, drop them in the noodles, and spray them down with the nozzle on the sink. That works just fine. As long as you can get them cold. The sooner they're cold, the more they'll hold. Just remember that one. The sooner they're cold, the longer they'll hold. It's basically what Italian restaurants do. Because your spaghetti is never cooked when you order it. It's actually pre-cooked to a form of al dente, and then it's shocked. And it basically sits around in a tub waiting for you to order it. And then when you order it, what they do is they drop it in hot water, usually boiling water, and that usually brings it back up to heat, which is kind of what I'm going to do. But right now I'm more worried about my roux. We'll work on this pot though. I think my roux is going to be okay for a few seconds. Like I said, don't take your eyes off that roux. You got to get it just before it turns brown. So if it turns brown, it's a frown. It's no good. You got to just make sure that your roux is a nice consistency of Play-Doh. In other words, when you bang it in the pot like this, it'll turn into a ball. And that's what you want. Then you just smush the ball back down. And you let it go. Whoa! Alright, so we're going to get this rolling again. Nice high roll. And I'm going to finish off my roux this time before anybody distracts me. Remember, no distractions when you're doing the roux. It's very important. Because you got to have it at kind of a high heat. Which means if you turn your back for a second, you're going to burn it. And if you burn it, it's going to ruin the whole deal. You got to remember, this is the most important part of the meal, is right here. This gravy. Now it's a white gravy. Can't remember the name of it, but it's a French name. You know your roux is getting good when you taste it, and it tastes more like butter than it does flour. When you've reached that point, you're pretty close. And this actually really tastes a lot more like butter than it does flour. You gotta remember, it's got a lot of flour in it. Now if you do your roux right, you don't have to add flour later when you add the milk. Which, I'm going to have to get some more milk. Keeping an eye on that. Get my milk. Okay. Got my milk. There's a certain smell to the roux once it starts really getting to be more closer to what you want. And you can always tell because when you go to smush it, it starts to really break apart. Into these little mud clots. Which is good, because that's what you want. If it breaks apart into mud clots, then when you add the milk, you're good to go. Now just before you add the milk, you're going to want to really get that pan hot. Again, a little bit for the cook. Alright. We're in a little bit of milk. Break it up. You can see it's going to steam a little bit. Once you get it broke up a little bit more milk, a little bit more milk, and then you're going to want a wire whisk. I have a wire whisk somewhere around here. There it is. Alright. Got a wire whisk? Start to break that up. You want to basically break up all your roux into your milk. And as you break it up, you'll notice that it starts to get thick. You go back down to medium heat and just keep breaking that stuff up. Keep on stirring it into your roux. And don't worry if it's not thick at first. It will thicken up. Matter of fact, it'll get real thick on you if you're not careful. So you just break that up like that. And as the milk warms up, it's going to thicken up. But as long as you got all your lumps out of there. This also, by the way, is a way of making gravy without having lumps in it. You see, the old way of, Granddad's way of just taking milk and water and then stirring in the flour afterwards makes it lumpy. It's almost impossible not to have lumpy flour doing it that way. This way, it's really hard to end up with lumpy. Because basically, your roux's already, or your flour, has already been broken down thanks to the roux. The roux is a character in Winnie the Pooh, in case you're wondering. So yeah, if you got Winnie the Pooh going on in your pot, you're doing good.